That's always my least favorite part of
producing
making music
yeah,
is like how to tackle the marketing side and the next steps. I know it's important, but I think that when you're making it, you're wise to
not
make what
it.
you feel is awesome.
Yes.
And then see what you've got.
Yes.
Because if you...
That's exactly what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Because I actually know, I think that with the background I have, people go, what is she now up to? I'm just going to be like... And some will just think that I abandoned all the sophisticated things that I've done, you know, it's like...
Right.
And some will think it's brave, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Now I'm thinking about my home, you know, people at home.
Yeah,
but,
for sure.
But this is also why it would be cool to do something here, because at home people have a preconception about who I am, and here that would just be what I was. What was the first thing they ever heard about?
Yeah.
So they would just go, well, that's it.
Go with it. Yeah.
But you're right about this thing of what phase you're in, not to think about. I mean, at this phase is really cool because you've not met the wall yet, and you can still kind of dream and think it can be however big.
Yeah.
And then once you kind of get down to it, you realize all these obstacles and
yeah.
But I'm not at that point yet.
Yeah.
It's just
I'll be getting the calls about the radio edits. Can you make this one 3 minutes long?
The one that's 5. Yeah, that's another thing. There are quite few tunes on this album that is too long. So I guess picking the right single is probably easier because we'll just...
Yeah, it'll be the one that's not 5
minutes.
Yeah. Actually, when we were younger, you know what? That is probably the second favorite, or the one that got me the second most.
Okay.
On an emotional level.
Because that's kind of so old school.
Yeah, not the style or anything. It's not that. Just from the demos I'm talking about. It's like...
the actual song.
The meaning and the content and what you're saying made me...
Maybe because I told you the story of it.
I don't even think you did.
Maybe you were not there, actually. Maybe the other guys were here. We were talking about it.
Yeah.
I can tell you over dinner.
Sure.
Because it'll be... Yeah.
Yeah, no, I've got my own story about what it's about.
Oh, yeah? So maybe I'll spoil it. Yeah,
that one got me too.
Yeah. I'm glad I got you in the end.
Yeah, and well, you know, another thing that got me, like even the first time when you wrote and were like, hey, you don't know me, but I've heard some stuff you did.
This is back in 2017.
Yeah. Ancient times. And you said, hey, do you want to come to Copenhagen and make a record here with my band? And I was like, wow, that sounds kind of crazy. And then you sent me a few things, which is always, as a producer taking on something, it's a little bit like, okay, but how much was this work done? And you know, is this 1,000 takes to get this? But then you also sent a couple of live video clips, and I was like, oh, great, she can sing, which is like a kind of a deal breaker for getting into making a record with someone. It's like, okay, yeah, your last record sounds really nice, and then you can't really sing, so that's going to be a problem and a lot of work and you know, a wrestling match to make it come out right. And I like spending the time on performances and getting into detail versus just
getting it right.
Yeah. So I was just glad when you sent me that live stuff too. Like, oh, okay, great, yes.
I can't remember because it was a commission thing, Right Now's music, and I had just heard that. You can't see it, but there's a Crazy Ford album up there that John produced, which was why I contacted you in the first place. And that album had organ and and horns, and so
that's right.
Yeah, so I actually made that band inspired by that album.
Okay.
And then we did that concert. I wrote all that music for that concert, and then I thought, so who am I going to contact? And I could also just try to actually contact the man who made that one. Yeah. So that was it.
Cool. And yeah, I mean, we had, I remember Frederick, but I can't remember who played the other horns?
Two women.
Yeah.
Yeah, might be it, and Mia.
Oh yeah, right.
Yeah, I
That's
still play with them, and Frederick plays with them in many
That's
contexts. Yeah.
Well, we're doing this.
Yes. Now I can actually. Maybe we should just kind of. We've
Do a
done this
picture?
for a while.
Okay.
So I will switch it off.
Okay.